Welcome to the Pegasus Learning Platform. Pegasus is your home for clinical simulation and learning resources. This quick timeout is a short study break for dosage and calculations. In this scenario, the healthcare provider orders 150 milligrams of drug A. The pharmacy sends a bottle with a label that reads 75 milligrams per tablet. How many tablets should the nurse administer? Well, there's shortcuts we can take. For example, if one tablet has 75 milligrams and we need to give 150 milligrams, we need to give 2 tablets. But what if you're not sure how to do that in your head? We're going to use the Pegasus method. It requires 2 variables, know and need, and the technique is pounce and prance. So what we know and what we need. What we know is written on the bottle. It's determined by what's on the label or what we have in our hand. In this case, the label reads there are 75 milligrams in 1 tablet. And what we need, well, that's what the doctor ordered. That's what we need to give. In this case, we need to give 150 milligrams, but we don't know how many tablets that is. If our formula is set up correctly, they should equal, it should be proportionate. We're going to cross multiply on the angle and divide. So to cross multiply on the angle, 150 times 1 is 150, and then we're going to divide by what's left over. So 150 divided by 75 is 2. Our answer is 2 tablets. How can we check our work? Cross multiplying in one direction should equal cross multiplying in the other direction. So 75 times 2 equals 150. And 150 times 1 equals 150. Do our answers match? Yep, then we know our answer is correct at 2 tablets. In this scenario, the healthcare provider ordered 500 milligrams of drug A, and the pharmacy sends a bottle with a label that reads 250 milligrams per tablet. How many tablets should the nurse administer? Again, here's a shortcut we can do it in our head. If one tablet has 250 milligrams and we need to give twice that many milligrams, we know we need to give twice that many tablets, so 2 tablets. But sometimes you're not sure how to do that in your head. So what we're going to do is find our know and our need. What we know is written on the label. We know there are 250 milligrams in every 1 tablet, and we need to give 500 milligrams, but we're not sure how many tablets that is. If this is set up correctly, it should be proportionate. Cross multiply on the angle and divide. So to cross multiply, 500 times 1 is 500. Divide by what's left over. So 500 divided by 250 equals 2. And that's our answer, 2 tablets. How can we check our work? Well, we know cross multiplying in one direction should equal cross multiplying in the other. So 250 times 2 equals 500. And 500 times 1 equals 500. Do our answers match? Yep. Then we know our answer is correct at 2 tablets. The healthcare provider orders 240 milligrams of drug A. The pharmacy sends a bottle with a label that reads 120 milligrams per milliliter. How many milliliters should the nurse administer? Again, there's shortcuts we can do in our head. If 120 milligrams are in 1 milliliter and the doctor orders 240, we know we need to give 2 milliliters. But let's write what we know and what we need. What we know is written on the label. There are 120 milligrams for every 1 milliliter. And we need to give 240 milligrams, but we're not sure how many milliliters that is. If our formula is set up correctly, it should be proportionate. Cross multiply on the angle and divide. So cross multiply 240 times 1 equals 240 and divide by what's left over. 240 divided by 120 equals 2. So that's going to be our answer at 2 milliliters. How can we check our work? We know cross multiplying in one direction should equal cross multiplying in the other direction. So 120 times 2 equals 240, and 240 times 1 equals 240. Do our answers match? Yep, then we know we're correct at 2 milliliters. The healthcare provider orders 150 milligrams of drug B. The pharmacy sends a bottle with a label that reads 175 milligrams for every 2 milliliters. How many milliliters should the nurse administer? Round to the nearest tenth. Well, what we know and what we need is, we know there's 175 milligrams for every 2 milliliters, and we need to give 150 milligrams, but we're not sure how many milliliters that is. Cross multiply on the angle and divide. So 150 times 2 is 300, and divide by what's left over. So 300 divided by 175 equals 1.7142, and we're going to round that to 1.7. So our answer is going to be 1.7 milliliters. So how can we check our work? Cross-multiplying in one direction should equal cross-multiplying in the other. So 175 times 1.7 equals 297.7, and 150 times 2, well, that equals 300. Do our answers match? Well, not exactly, because remember, we rounded down. However, our formula is correct, so we know that our answer is going to be 1.7 milliliters. You have to remember that if you round in that answer, it won't be exactly the same when you cross multiply, but if you've set it up correctly, your answer should still be correct. The provider ordered 250 milligrams of drug C. The pharmacy sends 125 milligram tablets. Remember, the Pegasus method requires two variables: what you know, which is written on the label, and what you need, which is how much you need to give, and the technique, which includes pouncing and prancing. So for the technique, our Pegasus will start here. It will pounce over to the other side and then prance up to divide. So 250 times 1 is 250 divided by 125 gives us 2 tablets. You can double check your math by cross multiplying each side. If you've rounded your answer, cross multiplying will not be equal. There are also many additional resources available in your course on the Pegasus Learning Platform. If you have questions, please reach out to your instructor. Please note that this was a brief overview only. This QT is for short study breaks. Dosage and calculations involve more than this QT covers. Thank you for your attention to this resource hosted on the Pegasus Learning Platform.